A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. The 10th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington, D.C. saw India reaffirm its commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. External Affairs Minister S. A. Shankar emphasized India's push for maritime security, economic growth and critical mineral development ahead of hosting the next Quad summit. The Quad strongly condemned the April 22nd terrorist attack in Pahalgam, demanding swift justice. India stressed its right to protect its citizens and called for zero tolerance against terrorism in the region. Take a look.
The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad, brings together four leading democracies, India, the United States, Japan and Australia, with a shared goal of promoting a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. The group collaborates across a wide range of areas, from regional security and infrastructure to climate action and sustainable development. At the 10th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting held in Washington, D.C., External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar reaffirmed India's commitment to these principles. He highlighted India's key priorities: strengthening maritime security, advancing economic development, and enhancing cooperation on critical minerals as the country prepares to host the upcoming Quad Leaders Summit. This was also the first Quad Foreign Ministers meeting following Operation Sindoor, India's response to the April 22nd terrorist attack in Pahalgam. In a joint statement, the Quad condemned the attack in the strongest terms and demanded that the perpetrators be brought to justice without any delay.
A word about terrorism in the light of our recent experience. The world must display zero tolerance. Victims and perpetrators must never be equated, and India has every right to defend its people against terrorism, and we will exercise that right. We expect our Quad partners to understand and appreciate that.
On the sidelines of the 10th Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington, D.C., External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar held a series of high-level bilateral discussions with his Quad counterparts. He met with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, where the two leaders reviewed the India-US strategic partnership and exchanged views on key regional and global developments. Dr. S. Shankar also met with Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong to deepen cooperation on Indo-Pacific initiatives, critical minerals and clean energy. In a separate meeting, Dr. S. Shankar and Japanese Foreign Minister Iwaya Takeshi reaffirmed the importance of India-Japan strategic ties, emphasizing their shared commitment to a free, open and rules-based Indo-Pacific. These sidelines engagements underscore the growing alignment among Quad members on critical global and regional priorities.
現下の国際情勢においてですね、日印協力の重要性は今、ジャイシャンカル外相がおっしゃった通りでございまして、国際社会を分断と対立ではなくて協調と融和に導くということのためにですね、自由で開かれたインド太平洋ホイップの考え方の重要性はさらに増してきていると思います。日米豪印の枠組みもですね活用しながら、ジャイシャンカル大臣としっかり連携して、国際社会の平和と安定を守る役割をですねこれまで以上に積極的に果たしていきたいと思っております。今日は充実した議論ができることを楽しみにしております。ありがとうございます。
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to host the next Quad Leaders Summit later this year, a key diplomatic event that will bring together the heads of government from the four Quad nations.
In Geneva, during the 59th session of the UN Human Rights Council, activists and members of the Bangladeshi Diaspora held a powerful exhibition highlighting human rights violations in Bangladesh. The photo display at the iconic Broken Chair Monument drew attention to the reported persecution of minorities, attacks on journalists, and erosion of civil liberties under the current caretaker government led by Muhammad Yunus.
Bangladesh, once noted for its moderate democracy and economic progress in South Asia, is now facing one of the darkest chapters in its recent history. Since the ousting of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the country has been governed by a caretaker administration led by Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus. Under this transitional leadership, civil liberties and minority protections appear to be rapidly eroding. Aiming to draw international attention to the worsening human rights situation and increasing persecution of minorities in the country, a photo exhibition was held recently at the iconic Broken Chair Monument in front of the United Nations office in Geneva during the 59th session of the UN Human Rights Council. Organized by members of the Bangladeshi Diaspora, human rights activists and community leaders, the exhibition showcased the alleged human rights violations and increasing persecution of minorities in Bangladesh. The exhibit documented attacks on religious minorities, especially Hindus and Buddhists, as well as the detention of political activists under the current caretaker government.
We are here in front of Broken Chair of United Nations in Geneva against the brutal and misrule of Yunus regime. You know, in Bangladesh, the Yunus regime is a intolerant government by the mob justice, mob violence. They are torturing a lot of people, Army League leaders, and especially the minority Hindus and Buddhist people. They are raping the women, and they put the video on the social media, and they also the miscases of false cases of these people, and they are earning the money by this false case. Nowadays, Bangladesh situation is so hard, so terrible. So we are here against the Yunus regime to make him out from the regime.
While Bangladesh caretaker government claims to be maintaining order and ensuring a peaceful transition, reports of state-supported brutality and economic decline paint a starkly different picture. Human rights defenders point to a systematic campaign to silence dissent and create a climate of fear. Activists allege that journalists who dared to challenge the regime have been imprisoned on fabricated charges, many under dubious murder cases.
From July to until this year, until this July, around 11 months, the Bangladesh minority, the Hindu, Buddha, Christian, all the peoples, they have been torturing, very brutally torturing by the mob violence. And this mob violence have been raised by the Yunus government. They patronize the mob. And here is the human rights violation in Bangladesh. The women against the humanity, women and girls have been torturing. So most of the Bangladesh last 10 months is going to the economically poor, and the poverty is very much more, and the human rights situation is really horrible. It's a crimes against humanity. It's like a genocide in Bangladesh. In all of the journalists, most of journalists, Mr. Shakil Ahmed, Farjana Rupa, Muzammil Babu, Shamol Dotto, Shariar Kobir, Shamsuddin Manik, all of the very prominent journalists, they are in the prison on the murder case. This is very inhumanity in the world.
The Geneva exhibition served not only as a platform to expose the ground realities in Bangladesh, but also as a desperate appeal to the global community. The activists demanded immediate international intervention and called on the UN to recognize the ongoing abuses as crimes against humanity. As the international community deliberates human rights priorities, Bangladesh remains a troubling case where state power, unchecked violence, and political suppression are leading to a humanitarian crisis at the heart of South Asia.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent. South Korea's parliament approved a revision to rules governing martial law in a move that comes after the country was shocked by former President Yoon Suk-yeol's sudden declaration of martial law in December. The new rules include barring any attempt to hinder lawmakers from entering the National Assembly and prohibiting the military and police from entering the National Assembly without the approval of the Speaker of the National Assembly. The Pentagon announced that recent US strikes have set back Iran's nuclear program by as much as 2 years, stating that the targeted 3 sites were successfully destroyed. Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell shared his assessment during a press briefing, noting that the most accurate estimate is probably closer to 2 years. China stated that it is reviewing the trade agreement between the United States and Vietnam and will take steps to protect its own rights and interests if necessary. At a regular press briefing, Chinese Commerce Ministry spokesperson He Yongqian emphasized that China strongly opposes any agreements made that undermine its interests. Moving on. Residents of Muzafarabad city in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir are facing severe challenges due to low electricity voltage and poor internet services. These issues have been further compounded by heavy taxes and increased rates imposed by the Pakistan Telecommunication Authority. The Awami Action Committee, local civil society groups has called for urgent government intervention to address these critical problems and restore normalcy.
In Muzafarabad, the capital of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, residents are enduring ongoing difficulties due to erratic electricity supply and weak internet connectivity. Low voltage issues have become increasingly prevalent, damaging electrical appliances and disrupting household and commercial activities. Businesses are struggling to operate smoothly, schools face hurdles in digital learning, and essential services are impaired, leaving the community frustrated and anxious. The Awami Action Committee has voiced serious concerns, demanding swift action from authorities to resolve these pressing infrastructure problems.
इस वक्त जो वोल्टेज का मसला है इस वक्त मुजफ्फराबाद डिवीज़न के अंदर इस वक्त बिजली, क्योंकि आपने देखा है गुज़श्ता कई अरसे से गर्मी की जो शिद्दत है उसमें बहुत इजाफा हुआ है और लो वोल्टेज से लोगों की जो इलेक्ट्रिकल अप्लाइंसेस हैं वो ख़राब हो रही हैं। हर जगह पे हर एरिया में हमें ये मसाइल लोगों की तरफ से आ रहे हैं कि जी वोल्टेज कम होने की वजह से लोग जो है वो प्रॉब्लम का शिकार हैं। तो उस चीज़ के लिए मेन जो हमारी कॉल है वो वोल्टेज के हवाले से है, क्योंकि हमने कमिश्नर साहब से मुलाकात के बाद उनको टाइम भी दिया था, कई जगह पे हमारा मसला हल हुआ है, लेकिन मोस्टली ऐसा मुकम्मल तौर पे वोल्टेज का मामला हल नहीं हुआ।
Internet service quality in Muzafarabad remains a critical concern, with residents and businesses facing frequent disruptions and slow speeds. The situation is exacerbated by increased taxation and higher internet package rates enforced by the Pakistan Telecommunication Authority. This digital divide is hindering communication, access to information, education and commerce, placing further strain on an already struggling population.
कश्मीर के शहरियों को, ताजरों को, तलबा को, सिविल सोसाइटी को, वकला को, साफियों को, दुकानदारों को और हर मकदा फ़िक्र को इस वक्त जो सबसे बड़ा मसला दरपेश है वो इंटरनेट के जो है नाकस सर्विस के हवाले से है। इसके हवाले से भी हमारा एहतजाज है कि फिल फॉर पीटीए अपना केबला दुरुस्त करे। जो इन्होंने भारी भरकम टैक्सेस लगा के यहाँ पे पैकेजेस लगाए हुए हैं उनको ख़त्म करें और यहाँ लोगों को सहूलियात दें, फैसिलिटेट करें, ना कि लोगों को अजाब में डालें, ना कि लोगों को जो है वो मामलाती ज़िंदगी में रुकावट डालें।
These infrastructural challenges are only part of a wider spectrum of issues confronting the people of POJK. Alongside electricity and internet woes, the region faces economic stagnation, unemployment, inadequate healthcare facilities, and poor educational infrastructure. Many residents complain of neglect by authorities, with frequent power outages during peak summer months intensifying hardships. The rising cost of living and limited access to essential services are fueling public discontent.
Let's now step into the timeless world of Hyderabad's iconic Salar Jung Museum, a place where art, history, and imagination come alive. With its vast galleries filled with rare artifacts, European masterpieces, and Indian treasures, this museum is more than just a collection. It's a journey through time. From the iconic musical clock to the fascinating twin-faced statue, every corner here holds a unique story. Take a look.
In the heart of Hyderabad, a city in southern India, nestled on the banks of the Musi River, stands a monument not of politics or warfare, but of passion. The Salar Jung Museum, housed in a stately white-domed building, is one of the largest single-person art collections in the world. The lifelong obsession of one man, Nawab Mir Yusuf Ali Khan, more famously known as Salar Jung III. Inside its many galleries is a remarkable collection he personally gathered, driven by his deep love for art. Born into one of Hyderabad's most influential families, Salar Jung briefly served as Prime Minister of the former princely state, but soon stepped away from politics to devote himself fully to his passion for collecting. Open to the public in 1951, the Salar Jung Museum now attracts thousands of visitors a year, each walking through centuries of human creativity. The staff working there emphasize that the museum is more than just a place to view history. It's a space where visitors can truly experience the past and connect with it on a deeper level.
It caters to the needs of all the visitors who come and visit the museum. That's why here you can feel history and you can enjoy the collection, you can enjoy the artifacts, and you can also learn from these artifacts.
Walking through the cool marble halls of Salar Jung Museum, the world begins to unfold piece by piece. While exploring the museum, a sculptor halts the public in their tracks. The veiled Rebecca, carved from pure marble by Italian sculptor Giovanni Benzoni, appears cloaked in a delicate veil so fine and translucent, people forget its tone. But perhaps the most iconic piece in the museum is a statue that draws every visitor like gravity itself. Carved from a single block of sycamore wood, Mephistopheles and Margareta, the two characters from German playwright Johann Wolfgang's 1808 play, Faust, stands like a philosophical riddle. One side shows the dark, smiling Mephistopheles, the other, the gentle, sad Margareta. The museum also boasts an impressive collection of European artworks, including pieces by renowned artists. These paintings provide a glimpse into European art history and its influence on global art movements.
One remarkable thing about this museum is they have arranged objects, statues, and all the things according to their time period. So you can see the architectural or artistic evolution over a period of time. We have already completed the European art gallery, and there we have seen a statue, which one is a two-way statue, means from front side that is a male, and from back side that one is female. So I personally love this museum, and I will suggest everyone to at least visit once in their lifetime.
Among the many marvels of the museum, one piece continues to mesmerize visitors with its charm and precision: the 19th century musical clock from England. Every year, a bearded figure emerges to strike a gong, delighting visitors with its intricate movement and sound.
My experience was very good. According to there was very much premium things which is manufactured in India and kept here. And the attractive most thing was that clock which a figure-like structure comes out, rang the bell, and goes.
फर्स्ट टाइम विजिट किए हैं यहाँ पे, हैदराबाद ही पहले आए हैं और यहाँ पे महाराजों की तलवार, महाराजों का रथ और मूर्तियाँ, स्टैचूज़ वगैरह है, बहुत पसंद आया हमें। क्लॉक थी यहाँ पे जो ऑटोमेटिकली घंटी बजाता है आके पैसा, तो वो बहुत एंटीक लगा। वहाँ पे गर्दी भी बहुत हो गई थी।
More than just a museum, the Salar Jung is a reflection of one man's boundless imagination and dedication to beauty. Each artifact is a page in his personal narrative of discovery, obsession, and legacy. At the Salar Jung Museum, people don't just see history, they enter a world full of wonder shaped over time by one man's dream.
So, whether you are a history buff or a curious traveler, the Salar Jung Museum promises a journey you won't forget. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.